Today, I've crossed $111,857,450 in sales, and I own absolutely nothing outside of investments. And I'll tell you why. The big lie that we've gone through as entrepreneurs and business owners is that we want to make a ton of money so that we can have all the things we want, which is true. But eventually, once we have the money, we start trading the money, which gave us our freedom, for the things that enslave us. And so this was something I had to learn the hard way, where I had just crossed $1 million a month. I was living in Miami. I was spending $25,000 a month on rent. I had a $550,000 Lambo SVJ at the time. And I was living my best life. And there's nothing wrong with it. But after 6 months, everything gets old. You mentally will adapt to your new environment. And so after 6 months of having those things, I realized, well, now, I have this massive penthouse and it's great, but man, I better use it because I'm spending $300,000 a year on it. Or man, the Lambo SVJ is amazing, but fuck, I really better spend my time in it because, it's a lot of money. And then as I would take it out, it would be a pain in valet. I live in downtown Miami. So it'd be a pain in valet, and people would be laying on the car sometimes taking pictures, or the valet would scrape the rims, or the battery would die because it has to be hooked up to a battery tender, and $2,000 to $3,000 oil changes, which, it's not a big deal if you can afford the car, of course. But what I started to realize is that I was giving up the freedom that I wanted so much and trading it for headaches, trading it for things that now took more of my time, or I'd have to hire staff to handle it. What I've learned from making a lot of money is that I want to make a lot of money to push myself. I think there's a lot of personal growth that can come from making a lot of money, but I don't need the money to live a certain lifestyle or to have certain things, because ultimately I know that those things, no matter how much I get or what I buy, are not going to really matter. And even if I do enjoy it, it's going to be stale in 6 months. And so for me, instead of playing the game, having it never end, I've just decided not to play the game at all. Because if I know that it's never going to end, I'm always going to need new stuff, and I'm always going to have to keep up with the Joneses or get more and replace it, whether it's car, house, whatever, things get old, then why play it in the first place? And so what I would recommend you do is, if you're in a place right now where you don't have a lot of money, make the money, build a business. But once you have a ton of money, resist the urge to go and spend it and get a bunch of things, because those things are going to be old in 6 months. And then you're going to realize that all the freedom you just got from making the money, you just traded it back for things. It ultimately will not be fulfilling. And you probably start thinking, man, like I really wish I just held on to the money so that I could go where I wanted when I wanted, which to me is true freedom, to have autonomy of time, to pick up all my stuff, put it in 2 suitcases and jet the very next day, which most people just will never be able to do. And so I am now a multimillionaire who has a multi-8-figure net worth, who doesn't own anything. And the only things I do own is commercial real estate or other investments, but it's nothing in terms of where I live. I rent. I don't own any cars. I actually got a scooter the other day. It's pretty sick. It gets me all the way to the gym. And I'm going to continue to live that way because I don't see any benefit to buying a bunch of stuff that ultimately just gets old and I'll have to replace. For me, the benefit of having a lot of money is to have the ability to do what I want when I want and not be stressed out or worried that there's something I have to take care of.